You cooked Newcastle, but that doesn't change my opinion on Sesko. I don't like Sesko as a player.
I get that.
Staffy can be happy, but me personally, I don't rate him highly. I rate the two behind him a lot better than I rate him. Like I said, Cunha and Buemo are very good. Sesko, I don't really rate. Maybe he'll be good in terms of like if you're counter-attacking or something, he could help with that. But I don't really rate Sesko like that. As much as you did beat Newcastle, and I agree with you on the reasons, except what Graham Souness did. He's not a measuring stick. I think, like, with the player himself, I don't rate him that highly. I think he's just an okay striker. But now the thing is with the Sesko thing is you have to invest in him for the future. So meaning there must be, and I know Terry might do this, but it depends on the other Man United fans as well. There have to be United fans who have to be very patient, because this is not the striker to get you 25 goals, 20 goals. Like this is the striker who might score 13, 14 goals this season, and you're gonna have to be patient with him. So
it depends. It depends on how Man United play and how. Listen, one of the things that I'm fully bought, Hassan. Terry, I'm fully bought on Amorim. I think Amorim is a very good coach. To be honest, the reason why I'm fully bought on him, because I saw Sporting Lisbon games against big teams in the Champions League, and I saw how this guy set up his team. I saw him set up his team against Man City and Liverpool and Arsenal in the league. From game one, he has a problem against smaller teams. That is why I think Man United struggles. Man United did not struggle against big teams under Ruben Amorim. You didn't. You struggled more against smaller teams. And I think if he gets the players like Mbeumo and Cunha to play, Kobe to play his football that I like, De Ligt is getting better. Everyone ruled out De Ligt. And look at De Ligt now, blocks and interceptions. He looks like the real deal for Man United. I genuinely think that if he's given tools, now is not only that he's going to perform against big teams. He won against Man City at the Etihad. Who wins against Man City at the Etihad? Don't tell me it's Rodri, not Rodri. Yeah, but Liverpool are a great team. You're the champions. You have great players, basically. But Man United, they set up well against Arsenal. They set up well against Liverpool. They set up well against Chelsea. They set up well against Man City. All he needs now are the other tools to actually make the plan work against the smaller teams. When you're smothering opposition, when you have the ball position. And I think the likes of Mbeumo and Cunha can provide. We saw Cunha in the preseason. The guy looks so good. He's everywhere on the pitch. I can't wait to see Mbeumo play for Man United, right? And now you get in a striker like Cesco, who I don't rate as much, but I think he's not a rubbish striker. He's a good striker that can be utilized under Ruben Amorim. He developed Victor Gyökeres to be like a 195 goals in 2 seasons for freaking Sporting Lisbon. I'm not saying that Cesco is going to score that much, but he can develop Cesco to be a 15, 20.
Man United play Boa Vista.
Yeah, but he has Mbeumo and Cunha. He doesn't have the players he has at Sporting. He has better players at Man United.
And I rate Mbeumo and Cunha highly. I don't say a bad word.
And Bruno Fernandes is a good player. Bruno Fernandes is a good player. Amad Diallo is a good
player. I think
player.
the biggest problem right now is their midfield. I think their midfield is a problem.
He is going to find a solution for this. You can't tell me that he's not going to find a solution for this.
So what I would say about our midfield, on the player first and foremost, I went on record. I'm not against getting Ollie Watkins. So even if this falls through and we end up with Ollie Watkins, I'm still not massively disappointed. I'm also at peace with where we are as a football club. I know where we are right now and what we can attract and what's expected next year. I really like this signing though, and I mean you can look at it statistically. People will search, whatever statistics suit their narrative best. But I was looking and comparing him against Ekitike, and when you start actually looking at their numbers last year, shooting accuracy is in Cesco's favor. Shots on target, I don't quite know how you can have better shooting accuracy, but it's less shots on target. He takes more shots, to be fair. But winning goals, slightly more for Cesco. Away goals and home goals, the same per 90 minutes. Goals in total, Ekitike slightly better by 0.1. Non-penalty goals the same. Conversion rate actually nearly 10% better for Benjamin Cesco. Take-ons and aerial duels better. Ground duels for Ekitike is better. There are other stat websites that will show Ekitike as being better as well. And I'm not actually saying he is. I'm saying that I think there's a very, very talented player in there. I get why Liverpool, I get why Arsenal don't just want a striker that needs development. They want some people that are ready to go.
You didn't put up any of the technical stats, though, where Ekitike wins all of them.
Well, when you say technical stats,
you specifically chose the stats that is Sesko beats Ekitike in.
No, I haven't.
Passing accuracy, crossing accuracy, all these things.
Hang on a minute. Yeah, but he's a striker, so I'm not going to go across. I'm not going to. You are right. Ekatike as a facilitator is better than Cesco. But what I'm looking at is what we're buying him for. With Cunha and Mbumo and Bruno Fernandes in our team, we're not bringing Cesco in to be a facilitator.
I understand.
So
Ekatike is a better facilitator and has scored more goals.
Yeah, that's fine. And I've already said I prefer Ekatike. This isn't about saying he's as good as Ekatike. But what I'm looking at are the specific striker, the specific things that are really important to a striker: shots on target, conversion rates, scoring goals home and away, winning goals, the conversion rate of chances, attacking aerial duels run, attacking take-ons won, attacking ground duels won. I think these things are really important for a number 9 as an example. If we needed a Firmino type striker, I wouldn't want Benjamin Sesko as an example. So I do think that there's a talent in there. In terms of what you said about our midfield, what's very interesting about our midfield is this. You're right. It's not fixed yet. But that for me is a conversation when we try and go to that next level. What Man United needed to do this summer is we've got too many holes to fill to complete it in one summer. If you look at us last season, we had the 6th most amount of possession in the league. And barring when we played the big boys, we typically speaking had more possession than all our opponents. Yes, on the transition, our midfield was getting run through. Absolutely. But what was damaging us more in those games was not taking chances. So now with Cunha, Mbumo and Cesco, I would expect us to score a lot more goals. I would expect us to lead in a lot more games. And I would expect a lot of those draws and defeats to become wins. And I felt the same last year. I do want us to address the midfield a little bit this summer and maybe next year completely revamp it as an example. But I actually think we need to add the goals because you could fix our midfield this summer. You could go out now and spend world record fees and bring in Pedri, Vitinha, and it don't matter who else, Rodri, right? We could dominate the ball more. But if we don't convert the chances, we're still going to lose and draw the same amount of games. Our results won't change too much by having a.
There's one player that you needed this summer, though. I think you need Onana from Villa.
Potentially, whether they're up
because that's the one type of midfielder that you just do not have.
You know the problem with this, Hassan? You know the problem? That the problem is the Man United team that I have. I like Kobe Mainoo a lot, and I've been a big fan of his since he actually started like 2 seasons ago. I like Bruno Fernandes. Ugarte, not great, but he's a decent player. There is still Casemiro. If they bring Onana, they hinder Kobe Mainoo's development massively. And I think Kobe Mainoo can be one of the stars at Man United. Bruno Fernandes, where is he going to fit? The system that Amorim
plays... That's why Staffy was right. They should have accepted the 100 million.
For who? For Bruno.
For Bruno, because it just the way that like.
Have you watched Bruno play for Man United?
The way that Man United play is not conducive to Bruno. The way that they're playing right now, if you wanted to play Bruno, you have to play him as one of the 10s. That's the thing. You sign Cunha and Mbuemo, you're taking away Bruno.
Maybe they aren't gonna start every game, you know.
I think if Man United wanted to fix their midfield, I think Ugarte and Onana or Onana and Mainoo is the best way to go.
So listen, and I understand that, and maybe that comes later in the window. But I do think that. Sorry, I'm just doing something. There's been some interesting breaking news that I'm going to share in a moment with you guys. I do get your point about fixing midfield, and I don't disagree with the Man United fans who want it. I absolutely agree. But I think we were never fixing all of our holes this summer. I think the most important, and I've said this is not just because of what we're doing. I said it back end of last season. People can go back and watch the videos. In fact, go to my first video with Mark Goldbridge back in February, end of February. I said the same thing there. I said goals and creativity are the 2 most important things for us to bring in next year, because I know how many holes this squad has got. I said it just over a year ago, 90% of the squad that Ineos inherited needs to go. And my mind hasn't changed in that regard. Maybe the percentage has gone up slightly, but I think goals, and people always don't like the phrase papering over cracks because it has negative connotations. But every squad, when it's being built from scratch, goes for a period where you're papering over cracks. Yours did at Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp went for a period, and there was heavy criticism of him for it. I did it because I didn't understand that element of the game so well. And YouTube's helped educate us because we get more information now than ever. Well, when's he going to get his team defending right? Well, you can't just keep trying to outscore people. You're never going to win.
There is no team is complete, Terry. Like Liverpool last season started the season without a DM.
Speaking of, can we actually talk about the biggest club in England because we have a bomber? Fabrizio retweet. Alexander Isak.
Whoa! Stop! I'm getting it all ready to put on the screen, bruv. Slow down. I literally said a second ago I've got something big to break. Just we'll come to that in a moment, my friend. We'll come to that in a minute. I promise. Right. So I wanted to introduce that properly. So I just wanted to say to round off this part about Manchester United. Like for me, I'm not content in the sense of our rebuild's complete or anything stupid like that. What I do feel though is very happy with what we've done with the attack, if and when we pull this deal off. And if I'm now a lot more excited once this deal completes about going into next season. I don't think we're perfect. I don't think we're going to beat everyone. No dumb comp predictions like winning the league or anything stupid like that. But I am happy with this. And just a little bit of insult to injury. Just had a lot of abuse from Newcastle fans. Ironically, with me talking about Isak to Liverpool, I'm just kind of glad that we beat them to him, because there's just something funny about that. I'm enjoying all the Red Cartel stuff. And we'll come back to your super chats in a minute. But